We're playing with the new Dede Signature from the Roots palette. This video is going to be short and sweet. I'm going to do an eye look. I'm going to show you swatches, give you my first impressions because this baby is launching on Friday and we need to give you guys the tea, so let's get into it. If this happens to be your first time on my channel, welcome. My name is Karen Harris. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on YouTube. I do post quite often, so highly recommend subscribing to my channel, turning on the bell so you're notified every time I post. And without further blabbering, let's get into it. Okay, this puppy just landed in my mailbox. This is the new From the Roots palette from Dede Signature, and it's launching on 10/10. That's this Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time. And I really wanted to play with this. I think this is going to be really hyped, and I'm so excited for Dede Signature because their Broken Jewel palette was so good. I used it a bunch of times, so you'll have to check out that video if you're interested. But I can't wait to dive into this one, so let's get into the close-ups and swatches. From the Roots, a bond that protects a love that lasts, a story written in our DNA. This palette was created to celebrate the journey of finding our ancestral roots, a theme that has deeply resonated with so many of us in recent times. It's more than shades in a pan. It's a story of identity, history, and cultural connection. So this palette is launching on Friday at 11 a.m. and it'll retail for $48.99. I do have a discount code with Dede Signature, so you can use it if you want to save a little extra. And sometimes they do like a pre-sale discount as well, so check that out. This palette has the same format as their Broken Jewels and Fearless Holiday. I'll show you those palettes at the end so you guys can see a little side by side. So we've got 16 total shades in this palette. We've got 11 mattes and 5 shimmer shades. I want to give you guys a description of the shades in case you're curious. So Rooted Clay is just a bone colored matte shade. Harvest Crown is that multi-chrome that shifts from like a red to a gold. And then Tribe Ink is a cool tone brown. Sacred Ember is a bright peachy, like yellowy orange shade. Royal Descent is a royal blue. Spoken Legacy is a cool tone taupey color. Ancestral Veil is a baby blue that has a lot of like gold green sparkle in it. Blood Bond is a burgundy shade. Rebirth is a plum. Sacred Thread is the multi-chrome that shifts from like a plum to a gold green. Spice Brute is a bone colored matte shade. Generational Love is kind of like a pastel, like salmon pink matte. Harvest Soil is a gold shimmer shade. Divine Dust is a iridescent shade that shifts from like green to purple. Olive Tree is a army, like olivey green color, and then Urgent Depth is a teal green matte shade. So those are all the swatches of the palette. I hope you enjoyed seeing the close-ups. And now let's go ahead and get into an eye look. Okay, so I was brainstorming what kind of look I want to do with this palette. And I think I'm going to do a green look today because I've been doing so many purpley looks. So we're going to play with the greens, the last row here. But man, this palette has some really fun shadows. So I feel like the possibilities are definitely there. And I just really want to be able to revisit some of these palettes after the hubbub of like holidays and Halloween dies down. I hope I get the chance to. We'll see. So we're going into Olive Tree, which is this really pretty olive tone. And I want to just kind of pack that on into the crease. That's the idea here. I just thought the Broken Jewel palette was so good. I have such high expectations for this palette as well. And I feel like these two palettes are going to pair so nicely together. And they almost look like they were designed to just like sit next to each other. So we'll have to see when we put them together, but look at how beautifully that shade just kind of blended into the crease and all over the lid as well. I am keeping a little open space here because I kind of want to play with some color and have a fun pop of color in the inner corner. I wasn't planning to do that, but then I was feeling a little inspired, so we'll see if I decide to add the pop of color or not. But this green shade is very impressive. I'm gonna go into the shade Harvest Soil. This shade I think is gonna be my lid color, so I'm gonna put this on my lid first and then work on deepening up the look. So I need to know from my Swiftie subscribers, if there's any of you on this channel that are Swifties, what do you think of the new album? Any thoughts? I actually am not like a huge Swiftie, but I was curious about this album because she said it was a lot poppier than Tortured Poets, so I listened to it. on the day it came out. I was up anyway, so I listened to it, and honestly, I didn't think it was that poppy, but I guess it was a little bit more upbeat than the last album. But I'm also not like one of those people that sits there and analyzes lyrics as hard as some Swifties do, so I haven't really felt like, oh my gosh, this song like speaks to my soul. I think her last song that probably really got me was probably like Shake It Off. I really like that type of Taylor Swift song. So we'll see. I need to listen to it again. I was curious about like Eldest Daughter because I have two daughters, so I was curious to see like what that song was about and stuff. And I don't have siblings, so I was curious, but nothing about it really resonated with me. But I'm curious to hear what your guys' take is on that. I feel like this Harvest shade, yeah, I was like, I feel like this is gonna thrive on being applied with the finger. It definitely feels like it has a good amount of binder in it, so it doesn't feel as flaky when you touch it, but it definitely has some potential hiding in that pan, so dig in there with your fingers if you feel like it. I'm going to line the lower lash line too before I get into smoking out the outer corners. I'm going to take this pencil brush and I'm going to go into this teal green shade, and we're just going to run that on the lower lash line. I grabbed a kind of tealy color for the lower lash line for the eyeliner as well. And I'm just going to keep blending. And I need a clean brush. And I'm just going to kind of pop that green shade from the outer corner into the outer crease there as well. I'm going to take the blending brush and just kind of blend that shade just a little bit. Okay, I really like that teal. Now I want to go into the shade called Tribe Ink, which is that really deep chocolatey brown shade. And I'm going to pick some of that up on the same brush, and I'm just going to apply it on top of the teal. And then I'm going to go back into the teal. I kind of like to sandwich the dark shade with the teal. Okay, I'm really loving how that's looking. Maybe I'll use this Blend Bunny one, and I'm going to go back into my Olive Tree shade, and I'm just going to kind of press that into the crease because I felt like it was getting eaten up. Press, 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 press. And then I'm going to take another clean brush and I'm going to go into the shade called Sacred Ember right here. And I think that's going to be my just like pop in the inner corner shade. Okay, so that's how it's looking so far. And I'm going to take my finger again and go into that shade and just kind of pop that all over the lid a little bit on both eyes. And I think that's kind of the look, that's kind of the vibe I wanted to go for. So I'm going to finish up this makeup look and I'll be right back to give you guys my first impression thoughts on this palette and let you know what else is on my face today. Okay friends, so here is the finished look. What do you guys think? I feel like I inevitably actually did a look that was pretty much inspired by the Sri Lankan national flag. Okay, we've got like two shades in here because we have green and like an orange in our national flag, as well as like a mustardy yellow and a red, like a burgundy shade. So feels like perfect for the theme, as well as celebrating the fact that I'm Sri Lankan. But yeah, this is the look. So let me tell you really quick what else is on my face today. I started off with the Natasha Denona foundation. I really have been enjoying this, and I'm just testing out some products that I want to put in my Sephora recommendations video for the end of this month with the Sephora sale around the corner. And then the LYS concealer, I've just been using this because they have a new one out and it's not available yet. So when I'm able to get it on Sephora, I'm planning on testing that out because I do really like this concealer. And then for my highlighter, blush, and bronzer. For bronzer today, I'm wearing my Chanel cream bronzer and my Hung Wango powder bronzer. And then for blush, it's the Unearthly Incandescent Glowing Blush. This is in the shade Mystic. I think this actually has art pan on it, but I was able to get some of the shade out, so we did use that. And then this is the Dede Signature Highlighter. I don't know what this one's called, but it's kind of like one of those bricks from Bobbi Brown. So I just kind of went right in the middle and it gave me this really pretty pinky highlight. And for my lip combo today, I'm also wearing Dede Signature. So this is the shade Chestnut and the lip liner also in the shade Chestnut. So we got a Dede lip combo as well for you guys. I just wanted to mention some of those products. I'll try to link as much as I can down below if you guys are curious. And now let's go ahead and compare this palette to some of the existing palettes from Dede Signature. I feel like I've seen a little change in their packaging, and it kind of started with the Fearless Holiday, but I also grabbed Drops of Fantasy because it was in my bin back here. I've been trying to store all my palettes separately like for the year 2025, so when it comes time to ranking, I don't have to like dig through my entire collection. But here is the new palette from the Roots against their very, very popular Fearless Holiday palette. So obviously Fearless Holiday has many more shades in it, but we've got some teals here. We've got like a little plum action. So there are some shades that are slightly similar, but for the most part, we have enough variation here that if you have Fearless Holiday, you could still grab from the Roots. And then this is the Drops of Fantasy. I'm just showing you this one, but this one is so, so colorful. Comparisons of the two, of course, this I'd be curious, but the tones do look slightly different. And yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the side by side in case you're trying to see if you need this one, if you don't need this one, whatnot. You know, I'm just trying to be as helpful as I can be. And then this is the beautiful Broken Jewels palette. Oh my god, these two look stunning together. Look at that. Oh, that's so delicious. So, so delicious. These two greens slightly different. These two are definitely very different. This is more of a true green shade. This is like a teal blue-green. So those are very different. And yeah, just so pretty. So love holding those up side by side. I don't know what you guys think. Do you need both? I always say more is more, so get more if you feel like it. But I think this is such a fun theme, and I think the palette is lovely. I had no problems with any of the eyeshadows blending or anything like that, and they're so pigmented and easy to use. I think the shimmers they've really worked on, they're not as squishy as they used to be, which I think is a good thing. And I'd be curious to hear from somebody with oily eyelids or they have a lot of fine lines on their eyelids to see if these break up or not. I don't feel like mine are going to break up, but I don't usually have any problems with my eyeshadow breaking up after a certain amount of time. I did also prime my eyes with the Sigma eyeshadow primer, and that one typically works really well for me to make my eyeshadow stick. So those are all my first impression thoughts on this palette. Like I said, this is going to be available on Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time, so set your alarm if you're planning on grabbing this. I do have a discount code with Dede Signature. It's just KH Makeup if you would like to use it. I will make a small commission, and that really helps me out, so thank you so much in advance. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and if you have a little bit more time, check out some of my other videos. I've been posting about a lot of new launches the past couple of weeks, and every Tuesday we also sit and talk about new makeup. So if you haven't checked out any of my new makeup releases, highly recommend doing that as well. I will catch you in another video very, very soon. Bye, friends.